I'm glad people got a chance to see me, man, because people don't really get the chance.
I'm sure you are.
They don't really get a chance to.
Ass nigga. So
you a selfish ass nigga, Willie.
So,
you way more selfish than me.
All right, y'all. We got shots fired again, man. You know, Scarface performed the song "Mind Playing Tricks" at the Grammys. He did a solo act. Willie D doesn't, you know, like the fact that Scarface didn't notify him that he was going to perform the song solo. So we're going to listen to them, you know, address the matter on their channel, and you can go check it out. Ghetto Boys Reloaded. You can actually watch the video, but here I'm just going to break down their discussion and pinpoint some things that I felt like should be noted. So let's listen up.
That segment of the show was unbelievable.
So, elephant in the room.
You already know. You feel like you were slighted.
Slighted?
Yeah.
I feel beyond slighted. Like, what I'm trying to figure out is, first of all, like, I asked you Wednesday when we left here, I said, what you got for the weekend? You said, I'm finna go fuck with this Grammys thing. I said, all right, man, safe travels. Because, you know, that's how we do it. Saturday come, I'm online, and an article comes across about the Grammys. And I see Ghetto Boys with Scarface in the line.
Let me see that.
I don't have it now.
I want to see where it says Ghetto Boys Scarface.
No, no. This is what it said.
I don't want to never get Ghetto Boys and Scarface intertwined ever, because I don't need Ghetto Boys to be Scarface. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So if it said Scarface, Ghetto Boys, or Scarface, or any of that shit two together, then they wrong for that. Yeah. Because I can stand on my own 2 feet with no Ghetto Boys.
And this is why. So this is why what was so baffling, because everybody knows that, right? You carved out a place in history for yourself. You were so good at what you did as a solo artist. You get that. Can't nobody deny that. So ain't no hate, ain't no jealousy whatsoever. You know. Remember, I'm the one that said, "Hey man, you ought to call yourself Scarface." You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna never hate on you. Never. I mean, when I see you winning, I see Ghetto Boys winning, because we are a group. So when somebody start talking about Scarface standing on his own, I said to myself, I said, well, Scarface got enough hit songs where he don't need to be doing a Ghetto Boy song. He could have just done a Scarface song. If you would have done a Scarface song, that would have been different. A Scarface song is a Scarface song. That's on Scarface's catalog, not Ghetto Boys' catalog. And to do a song that's from the Ghetto Boys catalog, My Mind's Playing Tricks, a song that I co-wrote, and to not have me included in that moment.
Let's go back to how the song came about too, because you did have a verse on that record. Those 3 verses, we all know where those 3 verses and that music came from. You put another verse on it. But do you recall back when you heard that song and Jay was trying to get you to rap on that motherfucker that you didn't like it? Do you remember that?
I don't know if I didn't like the song, but I didn't think it was anything phenomenal.
Okay, well, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And actually, now that I think about it, it's a lot of shit that I do that's phenomenal. And I think that the reversal of trying to put that shit on me because you didn't go there to the Grammys is fucked up.
All right, so here I think Scarface was trying to make the point that when I think he was speaking of Jay Prince as Willie D, you know, to write something on the song. Scarface was saying that Willie D said that he didn't like it. Well, here in the video, you see Willie D admitted that he didn't think it was phenomenal. But I guess he ended up, you know, writing a verse for it and, you know, the song ended up being a hit. You know what I'm saying? Like they said, you know, like Willie D said, you know, they got booed in New York, and then they had to come back and rebuild themselves, and then they came back and sold Madison Square Garden. Now it was because they had that hit song, you know, Mind Playing Tricks on Me. So I think Scarface here is trying to make the point, like, why are you feeling some kind of way that I performed the song at the Grammys when originally this was a song that you wasn't fond of, even though you eventually wrote a verse for it. Willie D did say, you know, initially he didn't think it was phenomenal. So, and that's just the point that I think Scarface was trying to make. So I just wanted to stop right here and throw a segment in and just, you know, decipher that point real quick. So let's continue.
Because my phone rang, okay? And if a motherfucker didn't reach out to you, it's not my fault. So don't put that shit on me, Willie. That's not cool. Okay. I'm not cool. And if I perform that song, I don't get mad when you go out and perform that song, bro. And I wouldn't even give a fuck if you got the call. That's not how I'm made. Like, I don't care about that. Have you ever went out and performed my mind playing tricks somewhere before without me?
Many times.
Okay, well, me too.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the difference. We're not talking about just performing. We're not just talking about performing a song anywhere, everywhere, like we all do. Every last one of us has done it. Mm-hmm. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a moment in history, the 50th year, a 50-year tribute. You should have said, you know what? If y'all ain't gonna fuck with Will, I ain't fucking with it. If Willie ain't coming, I'm not coming. If they'd have called me and the roles were reversed, I don't give a fuck what my level of success was as a solo artist. It's the principle. I would not have done it without you. I would not move like that without you. That ain't.
Well, I didn't. In all honesty, I didn't really feel like it was that fucking important. I'm just saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I didn't really feel like it was that important for whoever did the motherfucker. It's not a big deal to me.
Now here I think Scarface is being a bit disingenuous by saying that it wasn't a big deal to him. Of course it was, because if you go back to the beginning of this video, Scarface clearly admitted being happy that he performed the song, being happy that they asked him to do it, because he got a chance for everybody to see him, and people haven't seen him, haven't had the chance to see him in a long time. So he was happy. So for him to tell Willie D now, after admitting that he was happy to do it and he was glad to have done it so that people can see him, to later now admit that it's not a big deal. If any one of them would have performed it, it wouldn't have been a big deal to him. I don't think so. I think he'd have felt the same way as Willie D. So I just wanted to throw that in there because I think I disagree with Scarface here on that. So let's continue.
It's been times, and like, do you remember the last time you did when you did the dome,
the rodeo?
I didn't do that.
Oh, you know why? Yeah, but you had that choice.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
You had a choice. It was your choice.
I didn't do it.
It was your choice.
Okay.
You decided that you didn't do it because you didn't want to do it.
But you did it.
You was given a choice.
But you did it.
I did it because I was given a choice. We communicated, remember? From day one, when you found out, I found out, we got on the phone and we communicated.
So here Willie D caught Scarface again with a slip up. Scarface tried to bring up an example where Willie D performed the song without him. But he wasn't being completely honest about what happened. And Willie D corrected him on that. And Willie D explained that that's a different circumstance. When they were aware that they needed to perform that song, they both communicated, and Scarface chose not to go. Obviously, Willie D went and performed the song. Now, Scarface is saying, I didn't go, and you still went. Willie D was saying, that's because you chose not to go. But we did communicate together about it. So I think Scarface is being disingenuous again in this particular manner. So this is a couple of times where I feel like Scarface is being like disingenuous to the point where it needs to be discussed. So I think I feel Willie D on this particular point here, because you can't bring up a situation and try to parallel it as if it's the same when it's not. Scarface brought up a situation, an example in which Willie D performed the song without him, but this was the case where they both talked about it, and Scarface said, you know, I'm not going to show up. And I guess Willie D said, you know, well, I'm going to go. Scarface, you can't use that example. You can't use that example because with this Grammy situation, when you found out you needed to perform the song, You didn't even reach out to Willie D. You could have at least reached out and said, look, bro, they asked me to do this song. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I just want to let you know. At least Willie D would have known. So you can't do that, Scarface. And I feel Willie D in this particular point, man. You're smarter than that, Scarface. I would look at my friend the same way if he would pull something like that. So let's continue. Let's listen further.
So we didn't do that with this. That was a big moment.
No, that was a big
moment. But
that was
the Grammys. That was a big moment. The Grammys is the biggest moment in music history.
That was a big moment, Willie. And I didn't do that moment
because you didn't want to.
Okay.
Because you didn't want to.
But you didn't give me.
But I didn't have a choice.
If they didn't call you, what you wanted me to do?
So you wouldn't stand up for your dog? Why they got the comment? I told you to do the fucking show. What you talking about?
I couldn't do it.
You didn't say you couldn't do it. You said you wouldn't do it.
Okay, well, I couldn't.
That's a difference.
Wouldn't do it.
That's a difference.
But you did it.
Come on, bro. You really
try. It's the same thing.
That's a false equivalency, bro. Come on, man. You know that.
And see here, Willie D just checked Scarface, letting him know that's a false equivalency. It's not the same thing. It's not a parallel. Scarface did not notify Willie D that he was going to perform that song solo once he found out they asked him to do it. At this rodeo event or whatever they speaking of, they both communicated, and Scarface said he wasn't going to do it, and Willie D said he was going to go do it. So Scarface, if y'all communicated about it and you chose not to do it, why would you bring this up as an example? Willie D is actually factual. This is a false equivalency. And as a friend, I know Willie D was really looking at Scarface like, man, this ain't cool, man. This ain't cool. And I feel you, Willie D. That wasn't cool. I feel you in this particular moment. Let's continue. Let's listen on.
You ain't stupid. You know this shit, Brad.
I can't say that it's.
Come on, man. You know that, bro.
It's the same fucking thing.
Come on, man. You know that's not.
If Face ain't going, if Willie ain't going to do it,
you was given a choice, bro.
Face say he ain't going. I ain't going to do it.
But you know what you could have done if you felt some kind of way about me doing it because you didn't want to do it. You know what you could have done? You could have voiced your opinion and say, Will, I don't think you should fuck with it in the name of the brand. I don't think you should do it. So I'm saying, if we're going to be on the same page, we ghetto boys. If it's ghetto boys, it's ghetto boys. You know, like, yeah, you got your own shit going in your own right. In your own right. You did a great job for yourself as a solo artist. You did a great job. But listen to what I'm saying. But as I'm saying, like, you did your shit, I did my shit. You know what I'm saying? Your name is strong in for what you do. My shit is strong for what I do. You know what I'm saying? Neither of us need each other, but when we come together, we're more powerful. We know that. We know the ghetto boys. We know that the ghetto boys brand is more powerful. No, neither one of us, no matter how much success we've attained all these years, neither one of us is bigger than the brand.
Has to be
and the fact
I did not go out on television and shit on this brand. Okay, I didn't shit on it. I represented it. And if you feel like it was supposed to be ghetto boys, then we'll address that.
But how can you not feel like it was supposed to be ghetto boys if you do a ghetto boys song on the on stage on the biggest platform in music? How can you not feel like it's a ghetto boys moment?
So now you reverse everything back.
So now Scarface trying to use the reverse psychology with Willie D, accusing Willie D of reversing it and putting it on Scarface. I mean, when Willie D stated, how could you not feel like it's a ghetto boys song? I mean, he has a right to ask that question because it is a ghetto boys song. But let's just go back to the first point that Scarface made when he said that when Jay Prince asked Willie D to write a verse on that song, Willie D didn't think it was phenomenal. So I think deep down inside, Scarface feel like he's entitled to perform that song by himself under any circumstance. And I think he probably should just say that instead of just coming off the way he's coming off, because he's coming off as disingenuous. He should be a little bit more honest. But there's a point here later on where Willie D should be just as honest. But I think overall, Scarface is probably more disingenuous than Willie D is in this situation. But let's continue.
It's not that the Grammys didn't call you to do it. It's that they called me to do it. I understand. I get it.
It's that we didn't do it. I don't give a fuck who they call. It's that we didn't do it together.
Okay.
It don't matter who they call, Brad. Right. If they called me, you gonna know. If they called you, I should have known.
Well,
that's the point.
Okay. Okay. So I take full responsibility.
You know, when I made that video, bro, I made the video because like I don't even feel comfortable like having this type of discussion with you to them, because I know a lot of them don't give a fuck about you or me. They just talk shit. They got a few seconds to think about what they think about what we're talking about, and that's it, and they gone. And they'll drop a bomb and they just turn their back and they don't give a fuck what happened after that. They don't care what happened with our relationship. They don't give a fuck about ghetto boys like that. They're not invested like that. So when a motherfucker say something like, well, you know, I didn't see it being such a big deal that he wasn't on stage or whatever, Scarface represented, whatever, that's because your motherfucking ass ain't put 33 years in the game. You know, you ain't set up in the motherfucking studio writing songs and thinking of, and stressing over shit and beefing and bumping heads with motherfuckers that's in your band. You ain't been on the road when the motherfucking bus broke down. You know what I'm saying? You ain't been in you didn't go to motherfucking New York for the first time and got booed and then have to come back and build yourself all the way back up and come back and sell out Madison Square Garden. You ain't have to do none of that. You ain't went through none of that. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know the journey. You ain't part of the journey. You ain't got the blood, sweat, and the tears and the work in. So you don't have as much invested in this shit as I have in it. And other people who were not represented right in that Grammy situation. You know what they should have done for that moment? They should have not have done it, because you cannot represent 50 years of hip hop in 14 minutes. That shit should have been on its own platform. Fuck the Grammys. The Grammys ain't big enough to hold hip hop. Hip hop is bigger than the Grammys. It's way bigger than the Grammys.
I'm going to agree with you on that.
Damn, Scarface. So you're going to agree with him on that, but you can't agree with him that you should have at least called him when you found out that they wanted you to perform that song solo? That's Willie D you're looking in the face. You're sitting right across from him. And you can't admit that to him, but you can admit that they shouldn't have did the 14-minute segment to, you know, commemorate 50 years of hip-hop. That's unbelievable, Scarface. See, the thing about it is people have the chance to kind of watch this and break things down. And that's just what I did, because I bang with y'all as a group. You know, I grew up listening to y'all music, man. So, you know, it's just kind of heartbreaking to see y'all kind of have this moment. The Scarface, I think, you kind of owe Willie D an apology to a degree. But let's continue.
They should not have done that shit.
I'm going to agree with you.
You know, if you're not going to do it right.
That hip hop in 14 minutes or 12 minutes or however long it was, like it needs way more time. But what I wouldn't do is be upset because you wasn't on it. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be upset. Is De La Soul upset at Paz?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him.
Okay. Well, is Wu-Tang Clan upset at Method Man?
I don't know.
Of course Willie D doesn't know. And why is Scarface bringing up other individuals as if Willie D know how those rappers feel about being excluded? Scarface, I think you're crazy for sitting across with it. I know Willie D, he has good blood pressure. Let me say that. Willie D has good blood pressure. Because if that wasn't Scarface sitting across from that table, I think Willie D would have been inclined to wanting to perhaps maybe strangle him. I don't know if I'm being extreme. I'd rather Willie D tell me if I'm being extreme or not. But if that wasn't Scarface sitting across from that table, I think Willie D would have, by this particular point in time, would have been really trying to restrain himself from jumping across that table. I'll just say that, man, because Scarface is really trying to pull something with the stuff he's saying. But let's continue to listen. Come on.
Okay,
talk to him.
But don't be upset at me for going up there, Willie.
But this
be upset at the Grammys.
But this is us. This is us.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on with Andre and Big Boy. I don't know what's going on with Paz and all these guys.
All you know is what's going on.
I know
with
what's
us.
going on with us.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
And then I just said I take full responsibility for going up there and representing this brand.
A moment that's capsulated in history. A moment that people ain't gonna never forget. Now I understand that it was short time, but here's where I'm at with that. For something like that, for you to sit across this table from me weekly and knowing that you finna go to the Grammys and perform that song.
Let me hold up, time out.
Okay.
I didn't know I was gonna do that song.
At what point did you know?
When I got there.
Okay. So, all right. Okay, so you know you was, but you didn't know you was gonna perform a Mind's Playing Tricks.
I had no clue.
But when you found out, did you even think to say, man, this is a big moment? I'm performing the Ghetto Boys song, something that me and Willie D wrote. Yeah, I wrote 3 verses, but Will wrote 1. He was on the song. Mm-hmm. He is a ghetto boy. They want a Ghetto Boy song. Did you think for one moment to say, yo, Will, you know, even if time was running out on you, you didn't think for one moment to say, man, let me just at least call Will and let him know what's going on. It ain't cross your mind to say that?
It didn't cross my mind, Willie.
Niggas, you crazy.
It didn't cross my mind.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe shit.
I'm just saying.
Believe that he agrees.
I'm just saying, man.
Yeah.
I don't believe you, bro, because I know you smarter than that.
Facts. And this is a moment in which a person checks their friend and try to hold them accountable. Because I feel Willie D. I'd have said the same thing right in his face. I don't believe you, and you're smarter than that. I know you, bruh. You're more than a friend. You like my bruh. You're like my brother. I know you're smarter than that. It's no way in God's name that the minute you found out they asked you to perform that song that you ain't think of me. It ain't no way. You knew you should have reached out to me and at least notified me. Just so I'll know. Because I know I can't get there in time. But just so I'll know. And we can discuss it. Like, come on. Come on, Scarface, man. Dang, I hate to see you like this. But I'm not judging you, Scarface, because we're all human. You know what I mean? We're all human, so I hope you just write that. You know, it's just sad to see y'all going through this. I'm not judging you, bro, because I still bang with you and Willie D. So let's roll. Let's continue to listen further.
Well, I didn't think
I know.
Nah. And it's
do a lot of thinking, bro.
It's so much shit going on.
You do a lot of thinking.
And it's so much shit. Let me tell you something too. So you know, it's so much shit going on, Willie, until I don't know if you got the call or not. I don't know what's happening with you on your side of it.
Come on, bro.
I don't know. I don't know who handled your business. And as a matter of fact,
you know if the Grammys call about me doing something for Ghetto Boy, I didn't
know. I didn't even know that the call was. I didn't even know that the call was for sure until that Wednesday, that day.
You knew if
I did not know.
Listen, okay, let's say you knew that day. And here's the thing.
Okay, now time out. I know every motherfucking thing. Now, how does it change it?
How does it change?
Yeah, it's over.
Well, what
the motherfucker gave me whoever the producer was gave me 4 bars. That's it.
Well, it wasn't 4 bars.
What was it?
I think you did 8. But in any event, in any event, that's here's, I mean,
4 measures, 8 bars,
okay,
whatever it is.
So how does it change? How does it? You said how does it change it?
Yeah.
How does it change anything that we talk about on a daily basis? Like we talk about a lot of shit, and how does just us talking about what we talk about changes?
What's the end all?
What?
I didn't know that I was doing my mind playing tricks on me for 1, and for 2, ain't nothing I can do about it now. The shit is over with.
Yeah, the shit is over with. But the end all is for me to express to you how I felt about the shit you did. That's the end all. And you know what? Not just what you did, but the Grammys did. The dudes that
the shit that I did, Willie.
So this is what I'm saying. So you don't see nothing wrong with going up on that stage and performing a Ghetto Boy song by yourself. You don't see nothing wrong with that. Like hold on. And we're talking about at the Grammys at for a 50-year tribute. Now listen to what I'm saying. First of all, let me say this.
It's all my fault.
But let me get this.
All my fault.
But let me get this out the way.
No, you win.
No, let me get this out the way. No, I'm gonna speak on it.
I shouldn't have got on the plane. I shouldn't have went to the Grammys. I shouldn't have got on stage. I shouldn't have rapped that song. I shouldn't have walked off stage, and I shouldn't have got back on the plane and came home. It's all my fault, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna speak on this though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna speak on it. So you ain't finished.
I'm so fucking glad that they called me, Willie.
I'm gonna speak on it.
I'm so glad that Quest reached out to me to do that motherfucking song, bro. I'm happy about that shit.
I'm sure
man.
you are.
I'm glad people got a chance to see me, man. Because people don't really get the chance.
I'm sure you are.
They don't really get a chance to.
Nigga. So
you a selfish ass nigga, Willie.
So.
You way more selfish than me.
I would have never done no shit like that.
Well, I don't know, bro.
I would have never done no shit like that. The moment was too big, bro. The moment was too big. I would have never done that. And let me say this. But let me say this, Brad. I don't give a. Let me tell you something. And let me finish. I really don't give a fuck about the Grammys.
You see now, you done fucked up, like that. I see what I'm saying. I thought. No, so, you know what I'm saying? That you done fucked up now, you know that, don't you?
I don't care about none of them gatekeeping ass niggas. None of that shit that they do.
Now, Willie D was cool until he said that he don't give a damn about the Grammys. Yes, you do, Willie. This is what it's all about. You even admitted in this video that the reason why you're offended that Scarface performed the song without you is because of the big stage called the Grammys. So don't now say that you don't care about the Grammys. That's what this is all about. If it wasn't for that big stage, you wouldn't have had a problem, according to what you're saying. So both Scarface and Willie D have to be honest with each other, even though I feel like Scarface is being more disingenuous than Willie D is. I truly feel like Scarface then struck out. I done found more than 3 strikes in this video where Willie D's accusations hold more weight than what Scarface is trying to put on Willie D. However, Willie D in this particular moment kind of was not honest, you know. But that's for them to handle, but let's continue.
What I care about is the ghetto boys. You know, like when we decided to do this podcast, I did this podcast for the sake of the brand. I didn't do it to say.
I did it for the sake of the brand.
Okay,
also.
So I didn't do it.
Actually, it was my idea to do this shit. I
understand.
You to do this shit.
It was your idea to do it, but I had to agree to it. So you didn't do it by yourself.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
we doing. That's why it's called Ghetto Boys. I was a keeper of the brand too. But that's why it's called Ghetto Boys. So okay. I said, okay. The reason why I had my own podcast shit going on already. It was already doing big numbers. So
right.
So it took me. I built that brand. I built the podcast brand with Willie D Live. I built that. And so when we decided we was gonna do this right here, sure. I brought my audience like over here like this. So my thing was like, let's grow this thing and keep our brand going, keep it strong, keep it alive, keep it going. You didn't have to do this. I didn't have to do this, but I did it for the brand. You say you did it for the brand, I take your word. But look, the thing is this. In that situation where you have a 50-year tribute to to hip hop, you should have done it for the brand.
I want to thank everyone for taking the opportunity to watch the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. On your way out the door, don't forget to smash that like button. This is called SmashDaLikeTV, so please smash that like button for me. And I'd appreciate it if you would take the time to share the video through the many social media outlets you may have. And make sure you hit the subscribe before you take the next ride. I'm out of here like Vladimir. Peace.